Alright, so I wanted to make a quick video about the first debug room section in All Bosses Warps because it's really complicated and there's a lot going on, so I thought it'd be nice to just explain in a bunch of detail what's actually going on here. And I have Ultima here, made by Mavic. I'll leave a link in the description to help show what's actually going on. Alright, so first of all, when you first do the wrong warp, which is better explained in other videos, but you end up in the debug room, which is this weird black room. But the debug room, there's actually multiple rooms, and this is what we call the lobby. If you press this button, then you see that there's a whole bunch of entrances. And so first we want to go into this south room. And okay, the first thing we want to do, there's a bunch of stuff you can do in here, but since we're going to be using Vincent for most of the run because of Mug Glitch, which skips the animation of the next attack, which obviously saves a bunch of time in a speedrun. But when you actually start the game, I'm gonna Vincent already here. You can see that Vincent's character slot is actually used by Sephiroth because that was just a way something they did to save space, and when you try to enter a battle with him, he just disappears. So the way to fix that, thankfully we can do it in the debug room, as we talk to this cloud, hit EMA, then click Vincent, and this gives you the option to name Vincent, which actually copies Vincent's data over to the character slot and completely makes him a playable character. Now we do the fight again, and you can see that there he is. Alright, great. So, after we do that, we talk to this Goofy and hit item Elo, which gives you a whole bunch of items. As you can see, it gives you a bunch of mega elixirs and sources and like ultimate weapons and a bunch of ribbons and really cool stuff. So what we're going to do with these is we're going to give Barret all of our power sources. We don't actually need to give him all of them, but easier. Because we use Barret against Emerald Weapon. We need him to be really strong. And then later we're going to be using another option called Full Materia. And what Full Materia does, similar to item Elo, is it gives you, like, I'll just show you because it's easier. It gives you a bunch of materia in this order until your entire materia inventory is full. And what we want is 2 magic counters. So I found out that the easiest way to do that is to just remove exactly 8 materia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I go until you see Bahamut. It's just an easy way to remember. And that will give you enough space that Full Materia will give you the second magic counter. Alright, so then we do item Elo again. Then we press square. And then we hit Full Materia. As we should see this. We have 2 magic counters. So it worked. Alright. And then we want to do this. This is full name, and what this does is it renames all of your characters. See here in Ultima, if it works. Okay. So, set everyone's names to either MMMMMMMM or WWWWW, etc., etc. And This is to make sure that the text boxes work correctly with full-length names, but the side effect is that it actually goes past the length of the name, so then it actually overwrites. Oops, the game crashed. Rips. That's hilarious. Anyway. I'm gonna go back to that point, I guess. Be back. Okay, it didn't crash this time, so as you can see, full name actually overwrote the character's equipment. So now we have Cloud wearing a fairy ring as his armor. That's not right. And Barret has a safety bit. And this weird protective vest. That's because the hexadecimal letters for M and W. M is a fairy ring and W is a safety bit, which obviously those aren't actually valid armors. So they go into like garbage data and give you like these really weird stats. As you can see, they have like max defense. And they're like resistant to a bunch of random status effects for some reason. So yeah, that's the glitched armor, which is very useful. But what's even more useful is that everyone with the name WWW, etc., has a plus beret, which obviously has double materia growth, which is very useful because we're going to be doing that in a second. Okay, but first of all, we want to range. Then, since we're going to be doing materia stuff, we just remove some of these to make some room. Don't delete destruct because we want that for save for Sephiroth at the very end. We just go until we see destruct, and then we give Cloud W item for W item glitch. Mega all because mega all is useful. And then long range because long range is always useful. Then since we don't have the PHS, we have to actually go to this Aerith over here. In Ultima that we have no party. So what we actually want to do is we want Vincent in slot 1. Just skip some dialogue later. Then we want Aerith, and then we want Barret. Alright. So then we go to talk to this Tifa, and I don't know if you can hear here. Okay, making sure. You can see here, these are our chocobos. And we're going to be needing a chocobo for a glitch later for river skip. So what we do is we pick the second option, and then A. As you can see, now we have a wonderful chocobo. Just showed up randomly in our pen. So then we click Owari, and that's quit. Alright, and now we got to do some menuing. First of all, we give Vincent all of the speed sources to make him nice and fast. Power sources to make him nice and strong. And then able to see that they're all out. There's Barret and this Vincent. Okay. So then because then we reset Barret's limit to save some time later. Then we equip everyone with materia. So we want sneak attack. That's useful because going first is obviously really fast. Do magic counters. Counter. On Vincent because we're going to be using him. So this materia menu here, pretty much for spending the entire run building up to Ruby Weapon. Because Ruby Weapon is obviously really strong. So we need something very special to deal with him. There's its cover. It's Mega All. And then enemy way, enemy lure, 2 magic pluses. Okay, so we've got, like I said, here's sneak attack. This gives you the option to attack first turn, which is obviously faster than doing the menu yourself. Magic counter, this is for Ruby Weapon, and most, like I said, and 2 of those. Cover, this ensures that Vincent gets hit, because we want Vincent to get hit just for the counter chain to go off. Enemy away obviously removes most of the encounters. Enemy lure for when we want encounters. 2 magic pluses because we need Vincent to have a lot of magic for Ruby. Like I said, Ruby Weapon is very strong. And then this steel counter is part of the counter chain. I can probably show you later what that entails. But for now, that's everything. So we go back. This Yuffie over here. Next, and battle 3. So these pyramids, they don't look very strong, but they're pretty strong. They're not very strong in that they take a lot of damage, because they have, like, no HP, but they give you a lot of experience, and a lot of AP. So we need to do this times, level up our materia. Those plus berets are coming in handy here. Killing all of them at once is the fastest way to deal with these. But there's also another way might be able to show it. The other way, if you don't have Mega All on, is you can just attack this back one. And that kills all the others. But it's a little bit slower, so Mega All is faster. Alright, and you'll see this steel is born. Now we want to rearrange the materia. First, we get rid of some of these extra ones that we don't need. We don't need 2 enemy aways. You need 4 steels, so keep the steels, do not delete those. You want to use this, add this, and put this. Okay, so then do more of these. And now our guys are really strong. And we have all the materia we want. So that's it. So now we put on, oops, death penalty. This is useful because there's only certain weapons of Vincent's that trigger the mug glitch, and this is one of them. They have to be the long barrel rifles. And the sprint shoes to make him extra fast. Sprint shoes on Barret because we also want him to be extra fast. And the missing score. As you might know about the missing score, is it does damage based on how much AP is on the gun. And we have a lot of materia that we got from debugging. But first we want to move this materia over to Cloud. It's just going to be these first 2. It's not that hard to but do this real quick. We want counter on you, cover on you. Okay, and then for Barret, a bunch of these, everything that we got from item Elo is already mastered. So in order to get a certain amount of AP, you just fill them up with a bunch of W summons, and then 2 Knights of the Rounds. And this is enough AP to trigger the overflow glitch on Emerald Weapon so that you can kill him in one shot. Which is pretty good. Obviously, that's pretty fast. And then that is pretty much everything. Do these just for fun. What we want here. And we just talk to this Turk Vincent over here and go fight Dyne. As you can see, there's an empty party slot here, and that's because of Vincent. He's not actually supposed to be present in this scene, but he can show up here. Alright, so yeah, that's the whole menu. Well, mostly the whole menu. I did mention a couple of things. One of them is that I forgot to do Cloud's equipment properly. That's fine. The other one I mentioned was that we're building up to one very specific materia setup for Vincent, which is Mug counter, Knights of the Round, Magic counter, Mug counter, Knights of the Round, Magic counter, Mime counter, and Mug counter. And this very specific set of materia, obviously it Mug glitches and then Knights of the Rounds in very quick succession, and then it mimes the Knights of the Round and then mugs that, and doing that enough times kills Ruby Weapon as fast as possible. And obviously pretty much everything else in the game as fast as possible. Also got some magic pluses here. This is set up for the final boss. But yeah, that's basically what we're setting up to for the whole game, and that's why we want those specific materia. Hopefully all of that nonsense made sense.